Last month, I'm in London. It's stupidly hot. I'm on the Northern Line just staring up at the ads above everyone's heads. And I notice something. It's not just the usual vitamin gummy nonsense. There's a ton of ads for some reason for something called a nicotine pouch from a company called Zyn. There's a well-to-do woman standing right under one of the ads for a summery limited edition peach-flavoured nicotine pouch. She's wearing a halter top revealing beautiful southwest London-style fake breasts, and she suddenly reaches into her bag and pulls out the actual tin from the advertisement and tucks a little white pouch under her lip. No lighter, no smoke, nothing. It's like watching someone eating a mint. As I travelled through London for the rest of the weekend, I was bombarded with advertisements for tobacco-free oral nicotine pouches, and I realised we're in the middle of a cultural revolution, one that started in Sweden, crossed over into the US, and in the last 5 years has also exploded in the UK. So today we're taking a look at the nicotine pouch revolution taking over the West. What's in these things? How did a Swedish product called Snus turn into a 34 billion pouch a year global habit? Why it's become the unofficial handshake of bro hustle culture? Why Tucker Carlson's got his own brand, and whether it's actually safer than smoking or just too new to know yet. Why kids can buy them, and Australia banning the entire category outright just 9 days ago. But I can't enjoy the clean nicotine buzz of a smoke-free tobacco category alone. I'm going to need a man who could really benefit from the focused drive and conservative political leanings that a strong tin of Zins brings. John, are you ready to rock an upper decky lip pilly and become the latest zinfluencer to push nicotine pouches to your dim-witted social media followers, sir?
I can think of nothing I want more. If it wasn't for living in a nanny state, I'd have a gum stuffed with Zin right now.
As soon as I saw Australia bans, I was like, yeah, it was kind of redundant. You didn't need to tell me. You didn't need to tell me that.
We love banning things, and we just love dealing with tobacco wars and imprisoning tobacco kingpins as a result of cripplingly high taxes on cigarettes and banning of associated products. The vapes, the Zins, we don't like them.
A great name for like a band or anything, or a book would just be Australia Bands. If you just do a Google search for Australia Bands, and
Australia
Google
Bands
will return 10 trillion results.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had to resort to just eating nicotine gum, pretending I'm quitting smoking. That's the only way to have fun anymore, is to tell the authorities, don't worry, this is a gateway out, and then just stuff your gums with gum. Nicotine gum.
This was the argument for vapes too, wasn't it? It was that vapes, the vape companies like Juul said, well, this is to help people get off cigarettes, but then much like nicotine pouches that we will discuss today, people just who would have never smoked cigarettes took up these tobacco products, these nicotine products.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic, not least because I have enjoyed, through my Swedish friend Hannah, I've enjoyed snus on a number of occasions, having a beer opposite her, and I thought, what's that foul-smelling goop you're putting in your gums? I'll have some of that, please. And I was teabagging all night long, and it was great. It's great fun.
Have you seen Zins in Australia, John?
I have, yeah. I don't know. I'm sure I've just like seen them, on next to people at the pub, and they're quite. I mean, this is the thing that I guess has replaced whatever graphic value a packet of smokes had, which was in Australia undercut significantly by the fact that you had to prominently display, a cancer-infested lung on the front of your dunghills. So you couldn't just get a cool pack of Camels with the iconic Joe Camel on it. But now, but I have seen a few kind of brightly coloured Zin discs.
Zin pucks.
Yeah, Zin pucks.
Yeah, you can't throw a whole bunch of like watermelon graphics over a packet of Marlboros. You can't release a packet of Marlboros and just call it triple berry blast or something like that in
Exactly.
Australia.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But one of the things that we can get to is obviously, I mean, outside of Australia, which has just taken the heavy-handed approach, they seem to be able to be advertised in ways that I'm not familiar with tobacco products being allowed to. Well, it's not a tobacco product, I guess, but being allowed to for some time.
Yeah. I had just observed the nicotine pouch revolution from afar because I consume a lot of American media, American alternative media. So, you know, I heard a lot of people on podcasts and stuff talking about the benefits of nicotine pouches. I had even seen some health experts like Andrew Huberman some years ago when Zins were starting to become more popular. By the way, anybody who doesn't know, Zin is basically like they're the Kleenex, they're the Hoover, they're the rollerblade of nicotine pouches. They are the recognizable brand name by which the entire category is often referred to. And so I heard people talking about these nicotine pouches on podcasts, and it was very bro-y. There's lots of bro dudes on podcasts going, they really help you focus. They help you get your business going because you wake up and you just chuck nicotine pouches in your mouth and then you're good to go. But I didn't really think much of it because I hadn't seen it here in Berlin. And then 3 weeks ago, I was staying with my beautiful friends James and Caro in southwest London. And I got on the tube at Battersea Power Station, the Northern Line. And yeah, there was this woman sat across from me. And I was just kind of observing her because she had fake boobs and didn't look like the kind of person that exists in Berlin, which always makes me smile when I'm in London. There's all these like different types of people that just we don't have over here, like fancy, halter top, fake boob, bronzed ladies. And then so she looked very, you know, like put together. And I'm looking above her head going, what the fuck's going on here? There's like all of these ads in the tube are for this nicotine product, which seems fairly edgy. And then I was like, what are the regulations around this that you can just advertise? Because to me, it gives off that like cigarette advertising kind of vibe. Yeah. And I was going, man, this is weird. And then sure enough, she reached into her bag and pulled the fucking tin out and just put one in her mouth. And then as I got off the tube and hopped on London buses, all the bus stops were covered in different brands of nicotine pouch. McLaren, the car company, was advertising a limited edition. You need to get the McLaren brand nacho cheese nicotine pouch limited edition London summer flavor. I was going, what is going on here?
Matcha blast in
Matcha Cloud 400 milligram nicotine pouches.
Yeah, fascinating. So you actually got to see, I mean, that's so nice and layered, getting to see somebody consume the product under an advertisement for the product. I thought you might be going to say that you'd then approached her and said, can I bum a pouch? And then you hit it off. Or whatever the phrase is that one would use is.
Yeah, I would have said something like, can I don't know the lingo, but yeah, all these influencers on social media have created their own. I'd say something like, can you slide me a little Zimbabwe there, baby? I need a little upper decker lip pilly.
Now this is distinct from. I mean, I mentioned I had Snus, from which this is a kind of or I guess a descendant of Snus, but it's not the same because what I had some relationship to tobacco growing out of the ground, whereas Zin is very kind of lab made, isn't it?
So the thing with Snus, I think a lot of people will have heard of, which is this Scandinavian mouth tobacco product, which I think was probably the first time I saw these types of products where there was these little tea bag looking things that people would put in their mouth. But Snus has tobacco leaf in it. So you are actually putting into your mouth the actual tobacco itself, whereas Zins which were developed in Sweden in the 1970s. They don't have tobacco leaf in them. They have this nicotine salt, and the nicotine can come from an extracted tobacco from the tobacco leaf itself, or I think they can even do it synthetically now. So you're not actually consuming tobacco leaf, and this is key because that is why they are allowed to advertise in ways that we would find very strange, particularly coming from Australia. They banned cigarette advertising, quick smart.
Yeah.
And so it's very strange seeing like a nicotine product that bears a lot of the same kind of look and feel as cigarettes.
Yeah.
But it's being advertised on billboards and at the train station. And I think up until recently in the UK, and maybe even still in the US, I think kids could buy them because for the same reason they live in this at the moment. They're being regulated now, but they live in this gray zone, which is the zone that you want to really get into. I was watching for my research for this. I was watching a YouTube video from one of my favorite
We spend a lot of time
YouTube
in grey zones here at DPTM.
Yeah. I was watching a YouTube video from a guy I love called Levi, and he was explaining the nicotine pouch revolution, and he was comparing it also to vaping, and particularly Juul and the Juul thing that happened where kids started absolutely loving Juuls. And there's this window of time between a product getting launched into the market and you trying to just eat up as much market share as you can, which often includes kids. And then it gets regulated, and then all the profits drop often. And nicotine pouches are kind of in this place at the moment, but they are starting to become regulated.
So if you were to put it, if I was to put one in my gums, would that give me about the same level of hit as having a dart?
No, so it will give you about twice as if you're having a Zyn. Yeah. So a cigarette is around about, I think cigarettes contain quite a lot of nicotine, but the amount that you actually a lot of it gets burned off when you actually breathe in the smoke. But in terms of the comparison to cigarettes, the strength. So a cigarette, maybe you take in 1.8 milligram of nicotine per cigarette, whereas Zyns come in around 3 milligrams, I think even up to 6 milligrams. So you're talking, if you're getting a six milligram, that's 3 times as much nicotine as you would get in a cigarette. And you're also holding it in your mouth often for I think an hour. You put the little pouch in between your mouth and your gum. Yeah. And then in the UK, there's a brand called Velo, and they, I think, sell them up to 17 milligrams per pouch. So that's just going to fucking blow your head off.
You're just Tony Montana of nicotine.
I had one about a year ago. I was at a venue in Berlin, and a friend of mine had a little tin and said, "Here, try one of these." I was quite hesitant to even try it because I think I had a snus pouch about 10 years earlier at a nightclub, and it just made me vomit for about 15 minutes in the toilet straight away. So I was like, "Oh man." And so I was quite hesitant, but I did put it in. It did give me a little nicotine buzz. I started feeling more focused. I started feeling a little bit more conservative. Started feeling a little bit more
hustling a little bit harder.
I was hustling a little bit harder. I was thinking a little bit more of launching a kind of crypto scam. That's basically the type of feeling that I started to have. Yeah.
It's like a hallucinogen, except all your fantasies are about hustling and grinding. Man, are you guys getting the Bitcoins?
Oh man. I need to go to the gym, start taking more ice baths. And so there's no tobacco leaf in the product. They have cellulose fiber, so that's like tree pulp, a little bit of that, and then they have sweeteners and stuff like that. And they were developed by Swedish Match, a company, and in 1973, Swedish Match, creator of Zyn, they sold to Philip Morris, I think in 2022, 2023 for multi-billion dollars. Why is that? Because Philip
like
Morris,
16 billion or something, wasn't it? Which is just amazing.
Huge. Because Philip Morris, their whole thing now is like we're moving towards a smoke-free future. So their angle is like nicotine tobacco products that aren't combustible smoke, because that's where all the nasty cancer comes from, is getting smoke in your lungs. So the claim with nicotine pouches is that they are much, much, much safer than smoking, which seems to be pretty unequivocally the case, and that's accepted by health experts. So if you're trying to get off smoking, they can be a great way to sort of ease off the cigarettes. You're still getting that nicotine hit. However, health experts also point out that the category is basically too new for anybody, even though I guess we've been taking nicotine for centuries and in some doses in thousands of years. The nobody knows still what the long-term effects of this kind of nicotine usage is. However,
I guess nobody knows to what extent the well-studied disadvantages of smoking are completely eradicated, right? Like it's not beyond doubt that there's some things that you get from tar and whatever which you won't get, but maybe it'll still, I mean, it still, give you bloody heart arrhythmia if you just fill your gums with Zyn and things like that.
Yeah, and people have also said that they get addicted and they feel real withdrawal symptoms, irritability, mood changes, headaches, restlessness, and people just feel dependent on them. There's loads and loads of videos on YouTube and TikTok of people saying, I'm going to document my journey of trying to get off these things because I'm totally addicted to them. And I really don't want to be dependent on this anymore. I don't want to be dependent on like just tins and tins of fruity nicotine pouches every day to get through life.
I can't even eat watermelon because it just makes me crave Zins now, or mint, anything with spearmint in it.
I can't eat ravioli bolognese because I've been eating so many ravioli bolognese flavored Velo 18 milligram nicotine pouches. I've been eating nothing but Parmesan lasagna Zins.
That's a new angle that we need to. I mean, if we were going to release our own variety of Zin, we'd be more
savory
onto the umami flavors. Just pork wonton Zins.
Fuck, that actually sounds great. A little bit of salt on the upper deck of your lip. The numbers here are staggering, John. So let's have a look. So here was a bit of growth. Here we go. So Zyn hit the US in 2014. So it's super new, and they barely moved until 2020. Then by 2023, the supply couldn't keep up with their demand, and there was what was being called the Zindemic, as people couldn't access Zins anymore. Of course, as I mentioned, Philip Morris spot this and they buy Swedish Match for 16 billion, as you said, in 2022, their new flagship smoke-free bet. By the way, global tobacco industry as a whole, 900 billion in 2023, heading towards 1.1 trillion by 2030 for tobacco as a whole. Now, with these cans of Zyn, we've got cans shipped over the years. In 2023, 385 million cans of Zyn. Then 2024, 520 to 560, so plus 40%. 2025, 794 million, so plus. So it's just like it's virtually doubling over the years. So in 2026, the target is between 800 million and a billion cans of nicotine pouches.
So just about
gone bananas.
That would be more than doubling in 3 years, which is insane. Wow.
So who's doing them, John? So there's this real connection to male culture, to male sort of hustle culture, but also kids as well. In we should touch on the zinfluencers. So how social media mainstreamed nicotine pouches. There's actually public academic research specifically on these zinfluencers about the reciprocal relationship between TikTok content volume and pouch sales. TikTok reaches 68% of US teens. That's the platform that all this is played out on. You've got zinfluencers, this category of people who popped up on social media, and they become known for their fun and entertaining content around their use of nicotine pouches. There's a guy called Max Vander.
Let's see how many zins I can fit in my gums.
It is that kind of stuff. And there's a guy called Chetty, and he's the one who's comes up with a lot of this ridiculous lingo, uses it, and kind of just give us. I'm gonna have a little zinachino this morning.
And are they on the payroll of Philip Morris?
Most of it, the claim is that most of it is unpaid and organic. And in fact, Philip Morris, I think, asked, we'll get this in a second, Tucker Carlson is a big nicotine pouch advocate, so much so that he has his own brand now. But he went on the Theo Von podcast in, I think it was 2023, and called Zin a work enhancer and a male enhancer. And then Philip Morris asked him to please stop making claims about the product because they didn't like the fact that he was making unsubstantiated claims about male sexual performance and things like this.
Oh, that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you meant male as in MAIL because it made postmen more efficient.
It's a real mailman enhancer. It's a real postal delivery time enhancer. Yeah. Zin already holds 69% of the youth market. I guess that's nicotine pouch market. Flavors are doing the real work here. We're talking mint, coffee, citrus, mango, blueberry. Obviously, these are all skewing more towards youth. So the kids absolutely love the Zins. They're a great market to go
ravioli,
for.
That kind of stuff.
Yes. Canada's pulled the fruity flavors entirely. France banned pouches nationwide in 2025. The WHO has issued a direct warning about youth targeted marketed in May 2026. This is fun. The culture war layer in 2023, as I mentioned, Tucker Carlson goes on Theo Von's podcast and says how much he loves Zins. Zin says, hey, stop saying that, making unsubstantiated claims. It's not a good look for us.
Yeah.
And then in 2024, Tucker Carlson launches his own brand, Alp, reportedly triggered by Philip Morris staff donating to Kamala Harris. This is one of the claims.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I occasionally come across Tucker Carlson clips on YouTube. And if you watch like a Tucker Carlson YouTube video, he's often put ads in for his own nicotine brand,
which he reads.
Yeah, which he reads. And there's this whole connection between nicotine pouches, productivity, and like conservative male American culture as well, because it's all about.
I love the Alp graphic. It's just kind of
cute.
like,
it's good.
Yeah, it's a bit like the sort of Fallout.
Yes,
it's very, very kind of 1930s, 1940s Americana.
And of course, that's extremely deliberate by Tucker.
Exactly.
It's harkening back. Make America great again.
Let's get back to basics here. We've lost our way. This isn't about like hyper-colored fruity flavors. This is good old-fashioned, just a dude in a cowboy hat stuffing his gums.
There
you go. Wow.
So it's a great product for Tucker Carlson. And I wouldn't mind getting my hands on some of those Tucker Carlson. I want to get my hands on Tucker Carlson Wintergreen Alps and just hit an upper decker and real buzz out. I was actually considering getting my hands on a tin for this episode, but I think I'd probably vomit. That was my concern.
Just be stuffing your gums periodically through the episode. And France has had some. Did you mention France? Sorry, I might have missed that.
Has France banned them?
I think that's my understanding. Yeah, which is surprising. There you go. Yeah. They just love Gauloise. They don't allow. they want people to smoke in a kind of old-fashioned existentialist way rather than modern gummy ways.
Well,
this is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Is that it is the kind of opposite of that version of smoking that I associate with cool French people, where you don't try and hide it. It's not discreet. It's not really about enhancing productivity. It's, it's kind of viewed as a way to relax, slightly subversive because you've got to, you're doing something deliberately that to be unhealthy, and slightly cool for that reason. You've got this kind of devil may care attitude to your own health that, might also make you ride a motorbike and get into fights alongside having a smoke. And it's cool and it's like stylish. Whereas Zin's not really, I guess the tin or the puck is the way to communicate that coolness.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're right, and that's why the tins are brightly colored. It's like you want to see people. You need people to, unlike a cigarette. I suppose with a cigarette, you would have the cigarette in your mouth, so people would go, "Okay, this guy's smoking a cigarette. It's obvious. I can see it." And then you would see the person also take the pack of cigarettes out, put the cigarette packet on the table, and you see the brand. Whereas these companies are hoping that you take the tin out and you put the tin on the table because, of course, once you put the thing, the little pillow in your gum, then nobody. It's discreet, which is one of its advantages. If you can just be getting a nicotine buzz in secret. I saw a podcast. I saw a YouTube video with a researcher who was like interviewing loads of people about their use of the product, and she said that she would often talk to people and not realize until the end of the interview that they'd had nicotine pouches in their gums the whole time, because they'd like pull out a little wet bag, and she'd say, "I didn't know you were wet bagging during my research."
Maybe rather than banning it, Australia should just force people to call it wet bagging and see how many people want to do it. There you go. And there's all this kind of unspoken sort of cultural language around smoking, where you smoke in a particular way, that maybe looks a bit cool. You emphasize your point with your cigarette, or you kind of you light it up in a sort of fluid motion, and that's part of the coolness of smoking. Whereas I wonder with Zins, beyond like do people flick the puck out of their pocket and spin it on the table or something?
Fuck they would.
How do you make it look cool? I guess I guess the zinfluencers would tell you. Yeah,
you absolutely would. They'd pull it out, they'd spin it around, maybe juggle three or four tins.
Being
a zin clown, zin clowning,
zin maxing.
This is a fun data point as well. So Sweden has this history, this culture of smoke-free tobacco products, like you mentioned, snus, that's been around I think over 100 years. Actually, the little bags that contain the tobacco leaf. Then they develop the nicotine salt product that doesn't have the tobacco leaf in it in the 70s, and that is the product, that is the Zins now. But because I think largely because they have introduced smoke-free tobacco products into their culture over the last 50 years, they have the lowest smoking rate in the EU, 8% versus the 24% average. So they're the least likely to smoke of anybody in the European Union, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they use more smoke-free products. I know a lot of Swedes that are snoozing.
Yeah, and they've got no lung cancer, but they've got hideous gums.
Their lung cancer, they're the lowest. I think they're the lowest smoking-related lung cancer rates in the EU as well.
Amazing.
So there seems like a direct correlation. So
yeah.
So it is
the highest tonguectomy rates in the EU.
RFK Jr. called them probably the safest way to consume nicotine. He's probably right there. You know, he's not right about everything, but he's probably right about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think of what would be a better method, and that's that's obviously part of the challenge for both for regulators and for people who are trying to make money out of this. Is like, how do we kind of get that angle? I mean, it's a weird thing for Philip Morris and, you know, British American Tobacco and whoever, Marlboro and whatever, that they've got this product which they know to be deadly and everyone else knows to be deadly now for decades. And so your kind of market is always shrinking by virtue of getting sick and dying. But also, so it's like a virus. You know, your best bet is not to just kill people. It's to find a way to make something which is just as addictive, which is just as cool, but which is, you know, less damaging to people's health. I mean, obviously that's their kind of sweet spot, particularly at a climate of sort of slow but inevitable decline in traditional tobacco products. I mean, they can't keep it up forever, and certainly I don't see as many young people smoking. And I mean, Australia maybe is a bit different from other places, but you just don't see as many young people smoking anywhere. And so they must be thinking, God, this is like a life raft. This is an amazing boon in a time where we were like, you know, sending all our hard-earned money to offshore tax havens and preparing for the end. But now it's boom time.
Well, it is in the West. It's what they are really looking for, because smoking is in decline in the West, in Australia, in the US, in the UK. I believe that certainly in Australia, virtually nobody. I mean, Australia would be like the most smokeless place on earth. Just the least cigarette-y place on earth would just about be Australia. In the developing world, this is not the case. Cigarettes are still king, and I think are increasing in popularity in the developing world. And when their clientele, you know, if some of them die off from lung cancer, then there's a lot more people coming through to replace them. So I think for them and for their image, they need to be saying, you know, look, we are moving. I mean, it's probably, in some sense, it's also probably just a bet on optics, because they will need to keep selling these nicotine pouches. They're having a huge cultural influence in the US and in the UK and other parts of the world, but they still make up a fraction of tobacco nicotine products all over the world, which is mostly made up of cigarettes. But these companies, you know, they need a story that says we are going, because I think Philip Morris's thing is like, where I think I saw their CEO say something about moving towards like a smoke-free future.
Right. Very much the kind of same tightrope that fossil fuel companies have to walk, you know, where they say, you get like Shell and BP and whatever saying, you know, we accept that this is not going to go on forever and we're as committed to ending it as everyone else. Asterisk, we're profiting from it going on as long as possible, but still, but they kind of have to. That's obviously an inevitable part of their marketing. So yeah, I think your research indicated that Zyn was like 1% of the global industry by value, but obviously it's worth enough to them image-wise, I guess, both because of what you just described, but also because it's a massive growth area to be spending $16 billion on something, which is, you know,
it's
1%.
a huge growth area, and perhaps as time goes on, you know, maybe these companies do try and transition more and more into these smokeless, healthier nicotine products.
And
but would you
sorry, maybe that was just what you're going to say to me.
I was just going to ask, I was going to say, would you do them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would certainly try them as I've tried, you know, anything anyone pulls out after I'm sitting around a table and I've had a few beers, I'm up for putting in my mouth. But so that's kind of why I tried snus and, you know, vapes. I actually had a vape for about a week a few years ago when I was traveling in Europe, and then I felt so immediately and frighteningly addicted to it that I was like, no, this is going in the bin. I can't do this And that's probably how I'd feel about Zins after a short time, I imagine. But yeah, I mean, I guess I enjoyed Snus. I mean, Snus is one of those things, it kind of reminded me of, it feels less antisocial than smoking. Obviously, if you're sitting around a table with a bunch of people who don't smoke and you're like, oh, I feel like a nicotine hit, but I don't want to blow smoke in everyone's faces, then you can put something discreetly in your gums. So I kind of got that. And I think it gives you, particularly, you know, if you're on the beers, it gives you a kind of boost and energy, a mental clarity. So I wasn't using it for, you know, work purpose, for grinding and hustling purposes, but I can sort of see how, you know, it might be a nice thing. But it also kind of had this gobstopper or what's the product I'm thinking of? Like a kind of candy that's slightly painful to eat, you know, that you kind of
a warhead,
exactly, because it gives. I mean, that was Snus, and maybe the effect of Zen is more limited, but it's quite hard on the gums. Gives you this like burning sensation in the gums. But then after a few, I was like, oh, I kind of miss that burning, and then I was just like shoving it up there just to feel something, you know. It's nice. But no, I mean, realistically, I would be too concerned about being addicted, particularly if I was doing it in a way that was linked to, like, say, if I had a Zen and then did some really top quality work very efficiently, I'd be like, oh no, now I have to stay on the Zens. What about you? How do you feel about them?
Like I said, my main concern when I tried a Zen last year was that I was going to throw up. So I think I would probably try them and try and get them.
Try them if you needed to throw up.
Try them if I would use them if I had
a bad piece of chicken. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, just chuck 6 Zins in to make myself quickly throw up. So I don't know, like, I mean, yeah, I'm a person who tries very hard to not become dependent on anything, on substances. I feel like I'm constantly trying to battle against various addictions. Most of the time with me now, it's YouTube and apps on my phone.
But, I mean, you obviously gave up coffee for a short time, maybe not such a short time, which indicates your aversion to being dependent on things. I mean,
exactly.
One thing I would say is that the Scandinavian countries are absolutely kicking goals in terms of getting the world addicted to their products, and I love that.
And they're doing pretty well as societies. This is the other thing. I think like everybody kind of holds up.
That's true. Yeah,
you know, the Scandinavian countries is like, this is how we should all be living, with a really strong social safety net, and we should all just be doing nicotine. Maybe nicotine pouches is a key ingredient of maybe it's the glue. Maybe it's the glue. Yeah, maybe it's the glue that holds society together.
It'll backpedal on the polarization that's destroying us. People will say, "Let's resolve these differences over a few wet bags." And
I wonder if
I mean, I do think it's funny how it's got this, how it's come. I mean, you know, cigarettes always, as I say, they were kind of, probably they played a role in corporate life that was very much in its death throes by the time I came of age. But where they were still had a foothold is like, you know, pub culture basically, and relaxing and enjoying life and being a bit devil may care. Whereas Zen's occupying this place that cigarettes probably had before they realized how bad they were for you, where it's like, you know, keeps you alert, keeps you focused. It's a nice activity. Like, they're kind of able to market it in this very old-fashioned way, but it's strange to see it, you know, not a tobacco, but a nicotine product that is being used kind of for, I guess, you know, pragmatic and pro-social purposes, rather than, you know, as a vice. I mean, these people wouldn't necessarily see it as a vice. They'd say, what makes me better at what I'm doing? And I, you know, and it's like, it's no different to, you know, I'll have a cold plunge and I'll have a run in the morning, and then I'll pop my Zyn in to keep myself on target.
Exactly. Yeah, which
and
you,
as
of
long as
course,
as long as I can afford to keep doing that, then who cares about the addiction? I just won't stop.
or the headaches, or the
Oh,
withdrawal, or the irritability.
Exactly.
It raises blood pressure too, which I don't think to dangerous, or they don't think to levels that are, I think, to be too concerned with yet. Although I'm sure if you have blood pressure problems, it's probably not a great idea. But you're right. You wouldn't like go, oh, I really need to focus and and lock in and hustle today. So I'll have 70 cigarettes. And that's not
exactly,
because you go like, that's the downside of that much combustion in my lungs is probably going to outweigh the focus.
Right. That's right. Yeah, you're gonna, I mean, that classic scene from Mad Men where they're pitching to Lucky Strike, and Pete comes in and starts talking about this weird psychologist that they've got on the books who's done this research about people having a death wish, and that's why they want to smoke cigarettes. I mean, that's the opposite of people who are doing Zyn. They very much want to be alive and rising and grinding
and win.
Yeah, they want to be winning. Whereas I smoke because I think, maybe this will kill me, and I'm not fussed if that happens. I kind of want out, so I'll have a cigarette.
That's the thing about them that's not as great, is it? Is it's not, you don't get as much of that vice of like, yeah, life's pretty hard. Maybe I just subconsciously want out, or maybe I just want to check out of this.
Slowly kill myself. I saw a guy, actually, as luck would have it, I think it was yesterday, I was walking home in Brunswick, and there's this fairly old sort of scungy establishment called the Brunswick Club. Mark Chopper Reed, Australian crime royalty, was occasionally there, probably breaking people's knees for not paying their debts and things. And I saw an old Chinese guy emerge into the sort of smoking area on the deck, and he had this crumpled packet with just Chinese characters on it, no health warnings or anything. And I thought, that's where we need to head. Just the old like blow your head off Chinese unlicensed cigarettes.
No filters.
I'd probably have one and wake up in ICU or something, but he's just puffing away happily.
The other thing about these Zyns is they are cheap, man, at least in Europe. So you can get, I'm on, this is not a show sponsor, but snusdirect.eu/Zyn. You can get, this is before shipping, but you can get a tin for, which I think contains like 15 pouches in tin, for €4.79 for one tin.
There you go.
And it's less than $50. €43 if you want to get 10 tins. So you can absolutely spend a little bit of your weekly budget on nicotine pouches. We're talking flavors like Cool Mint Extra Strong, Spearmint, coffee.
Just to be clear, we're not endorsing these products.
Speak for yourself, John. I'm on the payroll. I'm a secret influencer.
I'm just going to stop recording and you go, we'll spit out a wet bag.
Spearmint, peach, man. Some of these flavors. The apple mint.
I've noticed one of the
black cherry extra strong.
Oh, I'd like a black cherry.
Black licorice, gentle mint.
Pairs lovely with a Dr. Pepper. You have a Dr. Pepper and a black
berry
cherry
fizz. Berry fizz, cactus spice, violet licorice, menthol ice, gentle mint low, blackcurrant ice.
Blackcurrant ice. Sounds like the drugs that the guy has in RoboCop, but that's a very obscure reference. I've noticed one of the symptoms is increased appetite, but of course, if you're really into your Scandinavian products, then you can just pair your Zyn with a little bit of GLP-1 and stay on an even keel, and you'll be giving so much money to Northern Europeans and keeping them happy, keeping those.
Yeah, that's true. You balance it out.
Those societies going.
That's like, you just Nova Nordisk exactly. In the morning.
Yeah, that's right. And Zyn.
Although
I guess now that's
in the evening.
I guess now they're all Philip Morris people. Sadly.
Yeah. Philip Morris. Yeah, Philip Morris bought Philip Morris bought Zyn, so now Philip Morris is just eating the whole market. Well, John, that feels like it's been the nicotine pouch episode. I want you to go and check out all those influencers pushing them to kids. I want you to give a try next time. I guess you can't get them now because according to my research, it said here, if I put in Australia nicotine pouch
Yeah, it was very recent.
As of July 2026, Australia has closed all remaining legal pathways for consumer access to nicotine pouches.
What I'm going to do you can get fresh fruit or icy mint Nicorette gum.
Okay.
So that'll have nicotine in it. It's supposed to be for people who are quitting. But what I'm going to do is just buy a empty Zyn puck, because I think that'll still be legal, and stuff it with Nicorette gum fresh fruits and pretend.
You look so lame. Just eat. People will go like, "Why are you chewing your nicotine pouches, you weirdo?"
Or maybe kids will just get on the patches now. That'd be good.
fruit flavored is so strong. You have to put flavors in them so strong that you can taste it through your skin.
That's right. And you could do kind of like Sailor Jerry style tattoo designs for your patches.
When you take your patch off eventually, there's a call.
Exactly.
Ed Hardy underneath it. Apparently, the reason that Australia banned it is social media targeting, preventing youth nicotine addiction, misleading product claims, and a new wave of addiction, also high toxicity, unregulated manufacturing, inconsistent doses, potential contaminants.
Interesting. Yeah, same sort of
lack of evidence as a quitting aid.
Yeah, okay. There you go. I mean, it's bad enough they won't let kids on TikTok in Australia. Now they can't. Even those that are clever enough to get on can't be advertised to by Zyn companies, Zyn pouch affiliates. But yeah, that's a shame. I just want to emphasize for legal purposes that we're not health professionals, so please take all of this with a grain of salt, perhaps
with a grain of nicotine salts. John, I would say that's been the nicotine pouch episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. If you have tried nicotine pouch, then you want to let us know. Hit us up, hello@dptm.org, or you can write us on the
/DPTM
Instagram /TripleBerryBlastZyn is the URL that you can get us at. If you would like to support the show and get the episodes a day early and get the bonus members only episode, you can find us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/DPTM, or just search Don't Praise the Machine. Patreon, we got different tiers depending on which level of support you want to give and which level of extra bonuses you want to receive. Just choose the tier that's right for you and your family. John, thank you so much, everybody, and we can't wait to see you next week.
The podcast.